All right, this special study session of the Edmonds School District Board of Directors for October 20th, 2020 is called to order. Take it away, Dr. Balderas.
Thank you, President Kilgore, and really appreciate the board being on tonight. I really do appreciate also the students and the parents, family members that are on tonight as well for the later presentation. I do want to discuss the current COVID cases spikes in the area, and make recommendations on next steps to bring our kids back on campus to our school board. Uh, Most recently, our cases are 101 cases per 100,000 over a 14-day rolling period, and that's up from 71 last week and 54 per 100,000 the week prior. So, so we had sent out dates to families over the summer with regards to possible return dates to our campuses around the grading periods, and that's something that we were shooting for. That's our target. That was our target. Our current cases make it difficult to return full grades to students in mid-November, which would be our current stage 2 of reentry. I'm going to recommend that we continue to work on stage 1 reentry for our most vulnerable students, roughly 160 kids over 10 campuses, per the guidance of our health authority, Dr. Spitters. I was on a phone call with him and other superintendents where he still provided that guidance that we should still move forward with our most vulnerable students. If again, working all the plans of reentry. But again, I do want to make sure that folks understand that we all want our kids back, and we will do so when it is safe to do so for both staff and kids. Staff are currently working with school principals and school teams on reentry plans for stage 1. The current situation with bargaining is we are bargaining again with our association, our teachers association, tomorrow on working conditions, and hope to get that done soon on stage 1, and actually all working conditions for all the stages. So to recap, I want to continue to work with stage 1 reentry for kids and continue the planning. And we did have to move the date out to early November because of the planning and also bargaining implications that we are currently working through. And I'm also going to recommend that we hold on stage 2, our kindergarten, first and second grade kids, until later in the fall or early winter. And I'm actually going to recommend that we wait till after winter break to really relook at bringing kids back, because I do worry, as Dr. Spitter said today, that there is a concern because of the holiday season coming up and the continual spikes. Literally, this is we're again trending the wrong way, and for the benefit of our kids and our faculty, our staff, and the safety, just making sure that we're doing things with great caution, but also we are continuing to work on both stage 1 and stage 2, even though I am going to recommend that we hold on stage 2, and want to open it up to the board for any questions on that.
Dr. Balderas, I know we've gotten a lot of emails from the intensive support teachers who have concerns, and I'm wondering, what are there special kinds of conditions that are going to be set up to address some of those concerns that they have?
Director Cadams, thank you for the question. And I know that we're working on, with our association, EEA, on working conditions right now, and we will follow all the guidance of labor and industry, OSPI, and the health authority in terms of what the guidance is for how to reenter. And I know that we have many school districts around us. I think we're one of the last ones that have any students on that campus. So people have done it well. But we are working very hard on ensuring that we have all the PPE and the right protocols and safety procedures on all the school campuses. And I can let Dana, who's overseeing stage 1, Bill, speak a little bit more in depth on that.
Yeah, thank you for that question, Nancy. So yeah, the 10 campuses that we have students coming back in stage 1, it's all special education programs, and it's intensive support and our developmental kindergartens, and then our DHH and our VA programs at Hazelwood and at Madrona. So the offer is out there for about 163 kids, as Dr. Balderas said. To date, we have about 107 that have expressed that they would be in attendance. those numbers will rise. We sent out a Qualtrics survey to see if the kids that wanted to come back in person. And so the follow up on that as parents are still making their determinations. That said, the collaboration with our building principals and our staff in the schools has been amazing. Additionally, a special education administrator is assigned kind of as a thought partner, with each of those buildings. All 10 of those schools have turned in reentry plans, very thoughtful reentry plans that are pages and pages and pages long, again, with all of DOH's guidance, OSPI's guidance, and Labor and Industries guidance. And then there will be some guidance that comes from the collective bargaining agreement that we come to with our EEA. So all of that said, it is that forward planning, and we've now backwards planned from that date of November 9th and what we need to do. And it involves a lot of pieces. It involves the staff that are going to be on site, and if there's additional staff, and the spaces that we will be in, and what reentry looks like. You know, it's the arrivals, it's the departures, it's the drop-offs of the buses, it's meals, it's all of those components, and then the spacing. I was at Madrona the other day with Kathleen Hodges, who is the principal there, and it was incredible to see the work that's been done in those stage 1 spaces to ensure that that kids are spread out, that staff are spread out, and what this new protocol that we're walking into looks like. But we're passionate about getting, like Dr. Balderas said, some of our most vulnerable kids in front of us, because we're really, really worried about their access. We're worried about progress that they're making towards their goals in their IEP. So that's our most critical work, I would say, right now. And the partnering that's been going on has just been really, really impressive.
Thanks a lot, Dana. I still am a little unclear about what special circumstances are going to be for the intensive support kids. So I understand, I can see it working well and everything you're saying for DHH and for, deaf and hard of hearing and visually impaired and OTPT if they're coming back. But I don't, I know that the intensive support students, some of them, particularly the primary, have some really deep needs. Mm-hmm. And I know some of the teachers were really interested in having shorter days, shorter times, and very few students and a lot of adults.
And we're working through bargaining on that, Director Kadams. That's a great question. That's one of the things that we're working through bargaining on. And what I would like to propose is, if I could, at the next board meeting, I know I'm having reopening be part of the part of a report that I provide at every board meeting. I'd like to have maybe Dana come back and provide maybe a model example, even if we haven't got through bargaining, of what it would look like in a specific program or two for the board to really do a deeper dive. Today, I really just wanted to relate to the board in terms of my recommendation and to talk about specifics, if we could, at the next board meeting, which is next Tuesday night, is go more in depth and spend more time on this topic, on this very important topic, so to have the board and the broader community really understand what we're looking at, if possible. Would that be okay with the board?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions about just the recommendation for postponing, putting a pause on the reopening of the full grades, kindergarten, first or second grade, until after winter break from the board of directors?
Oh, if we're talking about after the winter break, what exactly is that date? Is that early January, mid, late?
Yes, that's when we would look at it again in terms of when, and again, hopefully cases would be down. I mean, that's the hope. And again, we're going to be taking a weekly call now with Dr. Spitters, not just it was every other week. Now it's going to be a weekly call for a while. So I will keep the board informed and also our staff informed, the broader community.
And it's my understanding, this isn't a question really, it's just my understanding that we'll continue to do the work, the planning and the bargaining, so that when the time is right, we'll be able to open fairly.
Absolutely.
quickly.
No. So absolutely. I think we have to be very nimble during this time. We have to be fluid, and we have to make, again, because it's been fluid since I arrived, and the numbers have changed. And again, the spikes have changed our course, but the planning has not stopped. As Dana mentioned, and other staff that are working on this, from Greg Schwab and his team and the teaching and learning, we're all working very hard on this. I know that Helen and Victor are taking on stage 2, the kindergarten, first and second grade. So people are working hard on planning. And I think that's something that I really want the board to really see in terms of stage 1, what that could possibly look like in a specific school or two, to answer some of the board's questions, because they're great questions. And we really want to make sure that the board is fully informed in terms of what we're looking at and what the issues possibly could be. Because again, I know that I'm also in dialogue. I literally was texting a couple of bigger district superintendents right before this meeting in terms of how they're doing it. So we're in constant contact with our peer group, and we'll continue to do so. But to answer your question directly, we'll continue to plan with the best case scenario. If cases go down greatly, we would absolutely look at possibly getting back earlier if it makes sense. There is a worry about the holiday season, and I know that's something that Dr. Spitters mentioned as well. We have the Thanksgiving holiday and a winter break coming, where there's a concern of a lot of folks coming together, and also the regular cold and flu season. So.
Thanks for keeping us updated. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I wish I had better news. In terms of better news, having everybody come back on campus and we're rolling and we're coming back to it. No one misses a Friday night football game more than I do, watching our kids and just the social interaction with kiddos on the sideline, in the stands, in the parking lot. Just literally, I literally miss the energy of kids. But we will continue to work very hard, and I do look forward to asking Data to basically come in and maybe do just an overview of a model program that we're looking at. Again, we may not be complete because we could still be bargaining. I want to let you know that too. May not be complete because we could still be in bargaining, but at least can tell you what we're looking at. Thank you very much for your attention to this. And I am going to turn it over now to Dr. Vergara, who will talk. Actually, he is a moderator and will guide us through our students and parents tonight. And I really appreciate his work on this, and Greg Schwab's work on this as well. They both tag team this one.
Thank you. Good evening, President Kilgore, board members, Superintendent Valderas, students, parents, families, and community members. Today, we had a group of students and a group of parents that they are giving us time to for them to share a little bit more about remote learning. So we're gonna start with a group of students. I believe students, if you can please show your video, if that would be nice, please. Thank you. And so this is how we're gonna do this. I think I'm gonna go by high school, and then I'm gonna ask you one question, and then if you can please introduce yourself, grade level, and again school. Okay, so let's start with Linwood High School. And the first question is, what is working well right now for you when it comes to being in school?
Okay, so hi, my name's Leah. Oh no, it's frozen.
Hi, Leah, we can hear you. If you don't worry about the video.
Oh, okay. So my name's Leah. I go to Linwood High School. I am in 11th grade right now. And could you repeat the question one more time?
Yes. Leah, can you please share with us what is working well right now in remote learning for you when it comes to being in school, right? It's in your daily routines. What is working well?
Oh, one thing that's really working well is definitely the classes and the organization of everything. We just go from like one class to the next, and it's all in Canvas, which is really easy to navigate. I am also really happy with the way that the teachers are assigning things. I mean, of course, there are the AP classes who really seem like it's really excessive, but you know, we're trying. Sometimes it does get a little bit overboard with all the different classes and all the different assignments. Sometimes they all kind of pile up on one day. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Leah. And we have one more student from Linwood High School.
My name is Leila Velasco. I am a sophomore at Leonard High School. And
Leila, Leila, sorry, we're having some.
what's working well
Leila,
for me is that like the teachers
Leila,
are
we're having some issues.
taking time out of their day to have office
There you go.
hours for us.
Leila,
Can you hear me now?
yes, that's much better. Thank you. Leila,
Okay. Sorry, can you hear me now?
little bit.
It's nice that teachers are okay. You're welcome. It's nice that teachers are taking time out of their day to, yeah.
Leila,
Can you
we
still hear
can
me?
not really well. I'm wondering, do you wanna try to fix the connection, and we can go back to you?
That teachers are having office
We're-
hours, because
I
that is helping.
I apologize. I think Leila is having some internet connections, which is our reality now, right? So we're gonna wait for Leila to come back. Let's go with Meadowdale High School. So again, the question is, what is working well right now for you when it comes to being in school?
Good evening. My name is Francesca Keel, and I'm a senior at Meadowdale High School. And one thing that's really been helpful in this whole online learning has been Canvas and how teachers are outlining
Francesca?
Sorry, did I please?
Francesca, can you please start again?
Oh yeah, sorry. So my name is Francesca Keel, and I'm from Meadowdale High School, and I'm a senior. I don't know where I froze, but basically, I really like how teachers are using Canvas to sort of outline the week and give us set days that certain things are due. And they're also really going out of their way to make sure that we're doing okay mentally and that we have everything that we need, which is really nice.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I believe we have at least one more student from Meadowdale High School.
Yeah, hi, my name is Sierra Mall. I'm a senior at Meadowdale. One thing that's been working well, it depends on the class and it depends on the teacher, but definitely having that structure, so that we know what we're going to be doing every day in class, what our independent learning is going to be, what assignments are due, when they're due. So just having kind of a very clear structure helps a lot. And another thing is just level of teacher engagement. Like I definitely, like Francesca said, like our teachers care and they're trying. So that's a big thing.
Excellent. Thank you. Do we have any other students from Meadowdale High? No.
No,
Okay.
I think Sean's gone.
Okay, perfect. So let's go to Edmonds Goodway High School. I know we have two students joining us tonight.
I guess I'll go first. My name is Alistair McDonald. I'm a junior at Edmonds Goodway High School. What I find good about the online school right now is that Canvas is well laid out. It's easy to find assignments mostly. And the teachers do a good job of laying out when everything's due. But some teachers can assign a little too much homework. It does kind of add up after a while, but mostly they do a good job of keeping everything level. But I personally find it harder to concentrate on online school. I'd rather have in-person school. But then again, it looks like most people like the online school thing more.
Thank you. And we have one more from Edmonds Woodway High.
Hi, I'm Jessica, and I'm also a junior. And what's been working really well for me is that I like that classes are only 3 hours consecutively in the mornings, because I work in the afternoons and have sports, and so it's nice to have a lot of time for homework, because we have a lot of homework. And something that hasn't been working very well, I mean, technology's kind of been a struggle, kind of all around. So, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to Scriber Lake High School.
All right, I guess that's me. Hi, my name is Emil McDonald. I am a senior at Scriber. Also, my pronouns are he, him. And I guess what's mostly been working for me is like the level of communication that I get with my teachers. Like, you know, they're very responsive and like pretty quick to like answer any questions I have. And like what other people were saying, the structure with Canvas is really, really like really nice. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Anybody else from Scriber Lake High School?
I don't think Demarian's here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and let's Mount Lake Terrace High School.
Yeah, hi, my name is Hannah Martins. Throughout the online learning, it's been overall, the way it's been set up has worked really well for me. I do wish the classes were a little bit longer because it feels like super short, and like it feels like the teachers are rushing and like not getting like maybe all the material that they want to cover. A lot of the time when we're going through a lesson, we'll get partway through it and then they realize that it's time to leave. So we end up cutting off there, and then we have to finish the rest of our lesson by ourselves. But that's just a small little thing that doesn't really, it's not a huge problem. Yeah, the assignments there, it does pile up after a while, especially because we've had all the like been given all the homework time. But overall, the entire way it's been set up has worked really well for me.
Perfect, great, thank you, Hannah. And I believe we have one more student from Mount Lake Terrace High School.
Hi, I'm Jamie Wacker, and I'm a junior at Terrace High School. The three things that have worked is the Canvas organization, and it really helps to see how the week is going to go. The teachers, they themselves decide to make videos, then I can like learn stuff on my own during asynchronous time. And then like having office hours really helps us to like get to know the new teachers that we might be interacting with, or just get help. But at my school specifically, maybe the classes have been way too short, and it really disrupts with getting things done, and it ends up making the work I have to do after the classes a lot more heavier in terms of workload.
Okay, thank you. And I believe Leila is back. Leila, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, can you please share, and don't worry about the picture, the camera. Can you please share what is working well right now?
What's working well for me? Will you still hear me?
A little bit, yes.
What's working well for me is when teachers go ahead and help us in office hours. They make it more clear and more understanding for us. And it's a little bit difficult for me when they give out a lot of assignments, but it's there. Every time I get onto Zoom, they always have positive attitude, and they always say good morning or good afternoon, and it helps me smile and it helps me get through the day. And it's just, it's, I'm glad that these teachers aren't getting mad or frustrated. They're being happy with us.
Great. Thank you, Leila. And thanks for being with us tonight again. I'm gonna go to next question. And some of you already start talking about this, but we want to hear a little bit about your biggest challenge right now with remote learning. And we're going to start with Meadowdale High School. So again, what is your biggest challenge with remote learning?
I can start because I have to actually hop on to another Zoom in a few minutes. But one thing I'd say is that being in class for 100 minutes per week instead of 250 just significantly cuts into our learning. Like most of the material we have to do just ends up being self-taught, and we're just reading out of textbooks, learning, and I'm having to spend more time with the material because we're not covering it in class. So I have to try to process it as I'm kind of doing it on my own. And also just with technology, it's very hard to sit at a screen all day. Like I've been getting migraines consistently. Um, and also just the interaction, and it's a lot of very inconsistent among our classes. Like different classes are doing different things, and depending on who students are in your class, in your breakout rooms, that can really affect how effective or ineffective a conversation is or discussions are. So yeah, I do have to leave now, but thank you all so much for having me.
Thank you, Sierra, so much for spending time with us tonight. Thank you. Okay, and one more from Francesca, right, from Meadowdale High School.
Yeah, thank you. I do agree with Sierra that the class length isn't enough time. Personally, I'm also taking aviation college courses in the afternoon, and our class on Zoom is for 2 hours, and we get a lot done. And I know that fitting a 2-hour Zoom class for just one period is too much to do a full schedule every day, but if we're able to just even fit in another 10 or 15 minutes into a Zoom class, it can make or break it because we have more time to talk about content and just interact with other students. And then another thing is student interaction. I feel like we don't really interact with each other.
Francesca, I believe we lost you. Francesca?
Sorry, did my Wi-Fi cut out again?
Yeah. Can you please just repeat the last part?
Okay. Just with interactions with other students, it's because that's the whole point of school is to interact with your peers, and we can't really do that on Zoom, and there's only two of my teachers do breakout rooms where we're talking to each other, and sometimes it just feels like the teachers are just kind of talking at us instead of trying to be interactive. So that's a big challenge for me.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Let's go with Edmonds Woodway High School. Again, what is your biggest challenge with remote learning?
I'd say my biggest challenge is that to compensate for the less school time, the teachers they assign a lot more homework than they normally would. So yeah, that's like the most challenging part for me. And also, yeah, just like sort of the technology being weird is also a bad part of it.
Thank you for sharing.
I'd say that it's just the lack of class time. So I'm an IB student, and so for IB, they've changed the exams this year to mirror the lack of learning that's happening. But they haven't made any changes to the end of my senior year exams, which are the majority of my classes. So the lack of learning that's going on right now is going to affect me at the end of my senior year. And it's resulting in just me having to do a ton on my own, which is pretty draining. And so I wish we just had longer in class, because a lot of my classes were not actually covering material. We're just checking in, having some conversation, and then more is being assigned to do later. And so I'm spending, 4 to 6 hours on homework most nights, which is kind of tough.
Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. Let's go to Mount Lake Terrace High School.
Yeah, with the class time, yeah, I agree that the teachers are trying to make up for the lack in class time. My biggest challenge is it's just the time, because while they do have office hours, they have multiple kids trying to get into office hours all the time. So you can get help on 1 or 2 questions that you have, but you can still have a lot of other questions that can't really get answered. And Gmail is hard because you can't really communicate fully what you're trying to say, and it just depends on whether or not the teacher sees it in time. So yeah.
Thank you. And I believe we had Jamie from Terrace.
The 3 things that I've struggled with is distractions and shorter class time and too many assignments. I agree with what other people have said about how they're assigning more because they have shorter class times. Even if we were to maybe do 3 classes a day, longer periods, and then do that instead, and then switch off, then it would make it easier to ask questions in class and to maybe get assignments done in class instead of having to do hours of homework outside of class.
Okay, thank you. Let's go with Scriber Lake High School. Again, what is your biggest challenge with remote learning?
I think probably the biggest challenge would just be staying focused and motivated. I don't have as big of an issue with that as some of the other students I know. I can kind of pick myself back up after a few days, but yeah, it's a really big issue for a lot of the people I know, to just keep up with doing work and going to classes and stuff. Other than that, I think everything else has been going pretty well.
Okay, thank you. And Linwood High School.
Okay, so I've been having a lot of issues with technology. Probably like everybody in the whole district also have been having issues. I've also been having a hard time with like keeping up with like assignments, since sometimes we have like assignments from different like websites, for example, like on Canvas, and then there's some on like AP Central and stuff like that. So we have to like go back and forth, which is kind of hard to like keep track of everything. Also, like in Zoom, sometimes when we're like in our breakout rooms, some students don't like to participate, so we're just in there awkwardly sitting there, not really doing anything. Another thing is all the assignments. It's like it seems like since we don't have that much class time, it seems like some of the teachers are like making up that time and putting it as like homework, and so it's really hard to kind of like teach ourselves and like search up some YouTube videos or try to watch something and like try to like put the pieces together, and it's really stressful and hard to like keep up with all the
Thank you, Leah. I believe we missed the last sentence. We're gonna and we have Leila. Leila is having some difficulties, technical difficulties, but thank you, Leila. She answered in the chat, and I'm gonna read it. Say my biggest challenge is that technology is glitching, so it's harder to hear students or my teachers talk. It's also hard because of the missing assignments each day that are due at 11:59. I'm imagining PM, and it's hard because I may have projects, and then also I had to do other homework. But when teachers, I'm imagining when teachers request my answers from me, it's hard because I don't understand. I understood in person, but not in Zoom. And she wants to make sure that we all know that teachers are so nice to her when she asks for help. Okay, so those are the comments from Leila. At this point, board, we're gonna open up for. I do have another question, but we would like to give you the opportunity to ask questions. So, President Kilgore, board members, do you have any questions for our students?
This is Karen. I just am really interested in hearing more from the students. I don't have any particular questions. I just so appreciate them being available to have some of this input tonight.
Thank you. Director Noble?
Yes, I was wondering which, if any, of the high schools are operating on a block schedule, or are they all doing half-hour or 25-minute classes?
I can answer that, Director Noble. The high schools are Edmonds Woodway and Meadowdale High School are the two that, and they traditionally were on block. They were on block before we closed. So Mountlake Terrace High School and Linwood High School remaining on the 6th period day right now.
Thank you.
What about for Scriber Lake? What schedule are they using?
Should I answer that?
Yes, please.
So basically we have, let's see, I have it on my computer right here. So we have 4 classes every day, and the majority, like 3 of them are 50 minutes, and in the middle we have a 15-minute basically kind of like a homeroom session.
Thank you. Board members, any other questions?
I just wanted to, no questions at this time, but I just want to thank the students so much for being so straightforward and, honest with us tonight. I appreciate your generosity.
Thank you. Any other board members? Director Cadams?
So for those students, and I love hearing from the students, so thank you so much for coming and doing this. For those who say they have technology problems, I'm wondering, have they contacted the technology office? Do they have hotspots to help? What kind of solutions, if any, have they been able to either seek out or get or not get?
And
I was having tech issues when school began, and I have the privilege of having another computer to use that's not the district computer. So I decided to start using that one for all of my Zooms, and I've had success doing that. We tried like the hotspots in my house, and that wasn't really working. So, but I understand like that's a privilege, and that's not an opportunity that everybody gets.
Thank you, Jessica. Do we have any other students that want to answer that question? We also have Chris Bailey with us, Director of Technology.
I am very lucky too. I've got really good technology. I have one of the school's Chromebooks, but one thing that I haven't been able to figure out is like, because we do break rooms in some of my classes, and sometimes Zoom will let me join the break rooms and sometimes it won't. So far it's been working, but it's been on and off whether it works or not. And I've tried contacting tech support, but they've never gotten back to me. So that's been annoying because that's when our student discussions are. And people will tell me to like clear your cache and cookies, and I've tried that multiple times and it works and then it stops working. So just the the technology is it's just hard to work with. And currently I did previously have a computer that I could use, but I sold it. And then on Friday I get a new computer to work with. So
Okay. I know the Department of Technology does a wonderful job supporting our students. I'm wondering, is Chris Bailey with us? Chris, I'm not sure if you can add any more information about your support.
I just wanted to say thank you, students. I made some notes, and we will certainly be following up with a couple issues that we've heard from. Would encourage you to continue to reach out to our team. We've got a phone number and email address I can get to each of you as well to share with your friends as you hear of struggles that they're having as well. Appreciate you being here, and thanks for your feedback.
Thank you, Chris. We have few.
This is Director McMurray. I had a question about if the students can give me an idea of what percentage of classes where technology doesn't work as well as it should and it becomes a detriment. Are we talking about 5%, 20%, 50%? I'm just wondering if students can give kind of anecdotally a sense of how often these tech issues are a problem, because just about everybody mentioned them.
I've seen like things like that like pretty much every day. It doesn't really happen to me. It's happened to me like once, but I just went on my phone instead. But I know that like at least a few of my friends keep having issues. So, and like I also hear about it from like other students. So I think probably like at maybe like 70% here. I don't know.
Okay.
I
about
would say
70%.
that for my classes, it never completely ruins a class period, but it just kind of, we already have classes that are pretty short, and so it kind of wastes time and kind of eats up the time for the class. And some of my teachers have had tech issues too, and so that doesn't help either. And some of my teachers try to show videos on Zoom on their screens by screen sharing, and all I can do is hear it, and it's kind of glitchy. And so that doesn't work very well either.
Thank you. Any
I'd say that it's a very small percent for at least like for my teachers and and the work that I'm doing, because my teachers are like generally they're very forgiving and they understand like what's going on, and most of my teachers give like a general layout of what the lesson was, and then they post it on Canvas so that if something happens, I can go back and look through that if I had an issue. And so for me, and like the only class that it would have a very detrimental issue, my teacher understands. So he lets me, if something doesn't work, he lets me go past the due date of an assignment so that I can figure it out. So it's not a huge problem. It's just kind of annoying that like I try to get my work done and then something prevents me from doing that. So I have to put in even more time than I'm already giving into the assignment to try to fix that. And it's just draining.
Thank you, Hannah, and thank you, students, for being so honest tonight and sharing with us your difficulties, especially with technology. I'm gonna encourage you to keep being vocal about it. Speak with your teachers, with admin in your schools, tech department. You have a number. If and I want to be honest, if they don't answer is maybe I mean I know it's because they're helping other students, other families. So please keep trying and let us know. This is excellent information. I would like we have a few more minutes. I'm gonna ask the final question. What could we do better to support you and your fellow classmates during this difficult time? Any of you, if I please answer that question. What could we do better to support you and your fellow classmates during this difficult time?
I guess just like making sure that every student like actually can like have access to like class materials and stuff like that. Like I know that internet is like a big issue, and like so Zoom meetings can kind of be like iffy, but like at least just having like the ability to see the like things we've done in class, not during the meeting, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. I just know that like at least some people don't really have like very good internet or internet at all. So it's just really difficult for some students.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any other student?
Um, I suggest offer either longer type block classes or offer like recorded like lessons so that if people have tech issues, they can watch those. And even if people don't have tech issues, they can watch back lessons so that they can understand stuff more.
Thank you. Any other ideas?
I would love longer school days. I have a lot of friends in other districts and they're all at school significantly longer than we are. Like start earlier and end later. And I just kind of feel like that I'm not learning everything that I need to learn, and that longer school days might help that.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
at
Any
our
other idea?
school, so our school at Linwood High School, we kind of had like 25-minute periods, which is probably one of the reasons why a lot of us are having struggles with keeping up with assignments and stuff like that. So maybe just having like a block period, maybe not necessarily making the day longer, because sitting down for a long time is really irritating. But maybe just having like at least 3 class periods each day and like alternating. This could also probably help us manage homework better, because maybe teachers are going to be like, okay, we'll assign homework on these days, and then a different set of teachers are going to be assigning assignments on different days. So we'll be having a better time keeping track of assignments. Also, maybe if you guys could be more encouraging to like some other students with like staying up with their work. Like some people are just losing motivation of like doing stuff or doing schoolwork. Maybe if a lot of teachers or some of us can be more encouraging and maybe not really nagging.
Thank you, Leah. Any final comments about what could we do better to support you and your fellow classmates?
No,
Oh, sorry, you go first.
thank you.
We can go with both of you.
So my school has done really well with this, which is how to handle stress in our advisory periods, which I wish that advisory was a little bit longer, because that's only like 10 minutes, and I really enjoy the advisory period because it's like a nice break, and we talk about stress relief and what's going on with the school. But the stress relief stuff that we've been doing in our advisory period has been really helpful. And if we just continue to do more of that throughout the school year as we're online, I feel like that'll be really helpful to students.
Thank you. Alistair?
Thanks. I would say to help myself and other classmates would be add another 10 or 20 minutes onto each class, so that we can get more done in class, so that there's a little less homework. And I would really love it if teachers would allot like 10, 15 minutes of class just to let students work on homework in class. Because I had a teacher who did that last year, and it really, really helped, because I was able to get my homework done in class, and you could directly ask questions to your teacher if you need to. It really, really helps.
Thank you. Well, I want to thank you again, students, for being with us tonight. President Kilgore, or any of the board members, if you want to share any final words, please.
I just wanted to direct your attention to some comments from Layla in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you, Layla, for using the chat. Layla, we got a couple comments. Thank you so much. If teachers may talk more about our work and not say this is what we are doing, and give us a little bit of detail about our work. So you're giving us the how we can do better. And then also, it also will help the students who are shy and don't want to ask for more detail about work. And if they may give us more time to do our work and not do 11:59. I'm imagining, Leila, you're talking 11:59 p.m. But thank you, Leila, for your comments. And President Kilgore, board members, any final comments for our students? I know we're going to dismiss them because they have homework, right? And they need to go back to their homework and maybe dinner. President Kilgore, board members?
By 11:59.
Yeah. Any final comments?
Mrs. Ann, just thank you so much for giving us a realistic picture of the challenges that that all of us are facing, but you are on the front line. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I also really want to thank the students for sharing with us, and particularly some of the insight on, what's going well and what's not, and where the opportunities for us to do better are. And I really appreciate them sharing their comments here, because I know that it's not always easy, but it sure is appreciated because we need to hear from you more. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Cadams?
One of the students mentioned that they have teachers who are lenient about due dates for kids who are having technology issues, which I was really pleased to hear. And I'm wondering to what extent other kids have teachers who are lenient on due dates, or if they're like more, if it's hard and fast, just the extent to which teachers are giving that leeway, particularly when there are tech issues.
So with that, it just depends on your the ability of the student, because some of my teachers are very strict with their due dates, but it's not a problem for me because I'm generally good at that subject. And guys, hold on, sorry. Sorry, I'm babysitting my siblings. But if you're really struggling in a subject, then it would be harder with some of my teachers to get, you'd have to work really hard to get some of their assignments in on time, because they expect a lot from us. So it just depends. I haven't had an issue with that yet. I may come into that issue later, but I haven't yet.
Thank you, Hannah.
All of my teachers are flexible when it comes to technology issues, and a couple of them are flexible when it comes to non-technology issues, and a couple of them are not flexible when it comes to non-technology issues. So, but I'd say everybody's flexible when it comes to technology problems.
Thank you, Jessica. Any final words, Director Noble? Okay, President Kilgore? Okay. Thank you again, students. I know it's 7:28. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. I know you need to go back to do your work and your homework and everything else. So again, thank you. Please keep advocating for yourself, for your needs. Connect with your teachers, with your administration, with central office. Thank you again. And at this point, we're going to dismiss you. Thank you. And at this point, we are going to transition to our parents panel. We're gonna, President Kilgore and board members, we have members, family members, panelists from College Place Elementary, Alderwood Middle School, Oak Heights Elementary, and Linwood Elementary School. Okay, so thank you again for being with us tonight. I have a few questions for you. I'm gonna ask first question, and please, if you can introduce yourself and share which school you represent and maybe how many children you have in our school system, okay? We're gonna start with, how do you think your student is handling remote learning? Who wants to start? Any volunteers?
I can.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Derica Escamilla. My student is in Alderwood Middle School in 8th grade, and he is not doing well at all. He was having problems in person just with the whole transitioning from elementary school to junior high or middle school. And I feel like we were kind of just hitting the reset button when COVID hit, and it's been a struggle.
Thank you. Other parents, please.
I can go.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Irvina, and I have two daughters, one in Linwood High School and one in Linwood Elementary. So far, both of them, actually, I'm very fortunate. They're very independent and doing their schoolwork, and I don't have to really, uh, you know, push them or do anything. But I've been hearing from a lot of students earlier. I think our biggest problem, especially with my high school one, is the internet connections. I'm not sure how to resolve this problem. I talked to my husband, but since she's very, um, how is it? She's very into school. She always do her assignment and everything else. So when she's in class, and the class only 25 minutes, so if she missed just a couple minutes of her class, she get frustrated. And up until now, since I haven't go to work yet, we still have a privilege. She can use my hotspot from my cell phone, but yeah, we've been looking for something that can make it better. So when she's on class, she's not gonna missing, even though just 5 or 10 minutes, because she's got stressed out. And other things is like other students that for the high school, the class is too short, and that's a lot of schoolwork that has to do an assignment, and she's not done every day until 8 o'clock. She's not complaining or anything, but I mean, she's got stressed out every day because she wants to get everything done, and a lot of screening time. Like she has to do a lot of research by herself, reading a lot of material by herself, and they just missing in person, to interact with teacher. If you have a question, they can answer right away, because sometimes you have to wait. And she attend a couple of what is it, the classroom time, what do you call it, and it's been helpful too. So that's, I'm not sure you can call it a struggle or no, but it's just a little issue. Um, yeah, and for my elementary one, um, since she's younger, it's hard for her to focus in class sometimes, unless the teacher has interesting things for her to do, or maybe a little bit more work, because she already get ahead of other student. So when I asked her, hey, you didn't do your work, or you didn't do your assignment, she said, oh, I'm done, mom. I'm just waiting. So yeah, that's for me.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, this is Delvine. I have 3 kids. My 2 kids, the older ones in Alderwood Middle School. I have 8th grade, my daughter, and 7th grade, my son. My daughter, she's doing well. She's good. But the new in middle school, I hope you understand me because of my language. It's just 2 years I'm here. And like he's not so good. Like he's struggling about the time and a lot of assignment. Sometimes he missing some. Yeah, it makes him tired. And it's good thing about the online learning. Now for me, I know them more. What are they doing? What's the good point? What's the subject they are good or not? Really, that this has helped me to help them. And really, I spent a lot of time with them with the canvas, helping them for the middle one. And my elementary school one, he's young and it's too hard for him to sit down like 1 hour, listen to teachers. And then when he finished his Zoom meetings, we start to do homework and he start to cry. Like, yeah, I am taking a teacher place and I am a student too. I should do a lot of help him to do homework and do my homework. Yeah. Uh, is my sound is good? The sound is coming good?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Do we have any other parents? I believe Anna, can you hear us?
Yes. Hi.
Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening. Yeah. So I have two daughters in College Place Elementary. So far, I think I have a fourth grader, so she's doing good. I like the canvas also set up, and I like that I'm able to see like her homework and assignments and everything, and keep track of everything that needs to be done. And I have a second grader, and that one she's struggling a little bit. She's doing good, like with her homework and everything, but I think it's just the not being in class with her peers and um in the with the social aspect of it. I think she's kind of falling behind on there because as well they don't get a lot of homework, and I understand they're smaller, they're little kids, and a lot of homework is not good for them. But I think she gets bored also. Like she finishes, like another parent mentioned, she finishes real quick. It's only one assignment per like every 2 hours or something. And yeah, she's I think they're covering more like kindergarten, first grade stuff, and she's really not that excited about it. So, but other than that, I think we're doing good, all of us. I include myself because it's a learning process for me as well. And um, I have another little one at home, so it's also a little bit of a struggle. But I think with my oldest one being so like on top of everything, it helps. It helps a lot.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna take you to a next question, and it's kind of related. What is your biggest challenge as a family member with remote learning? What's your biggest challenge? So any of the parents, please.
For me, it's the fact that I still go to work. So I'm not home. No one is home to help him or monitor him um, and make sure that he's doing everything. And I didn't really get to, I didn't know we were going to have so much time to speak. So I just briefly answered the first one. But his biggest thing is that it's the amount of homework that they get. And if you fall behind one day, you're constantly trying to catch up, and we just can't get caught up. I know, like, I have severe anxiety just from the Canvas notifications of when assignments get put. And I'm like, I can't even keep up with my work email. And then I'm trying to also monitor my Gmail. And I can't. We're having real problems, and it's hindered our relationship. We've fought. I've taken things, I've given him back because then I'm like, okay, well, he needs it for some kind of social aspect. And it's just, I feel like for me, the hardest part is the catching up. And then the teachers aren't as available. Like the kids said, it would be nice for them to have in class homework time so that maybe other students, and my son is very introverted. He doesn't want to be the one to ask a question, even if he doesn't understand it. And so when the kids that do speak normally don't have that like open discussion time, or hey, do your homework, and the talkative kids ask the questions, or he loses out. And I'm told, like, Also, let's just say the next class, a bunch of kids have questions from the class before, then the teacher's kind of going backwards. And then the kids that are ready to move on don't get to move forward. And then some kids are still behind. And so it's the constant like trying to catch up and just as a parent, like no, and it's so hard. It really is so hard. So for us, it's really the homework and catching up because there's so many assignments coming in a day. He's in middle school, he's got 4 classes a day. I believe they're each 1 hour. But they have so many assignments. And maybe if he didn't fall behind, it wouldn't be as bad. But I have a feeling that most kids aren't self-motivated, independent, and they need the structure. It sounds like half of the panel has independent, motivated kids that are, on top of it, but a lot of us don't. And it's been really hard. And honestly, I've had 2 coworkers tell me that they had to call in just to stay home a day to help their kids with their missing assignments. So that's my story over here.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Other parents, please. Again, the question, what is your biggest challenge as a family member with remote learning?
For me, it's like I mentioned before, I also have a little one. She's 3 years old, so I have to kind of juggle through all like her schedule and my other 2 girls. But I think for me that's the biggest struggle as of now, just having to having a little one on the side that's constantly needing me, and sometimes my older ones, like if the technology or the computer, the Chromebooks, like their volume, anything goes off, I hear them scream, "Mom, I need help," and "Mom," like here and there. So it's just like a juggling act with all 3 of them. But for me, that's the biggest one.
Thank you.
Yeah, for me, the biggest challenge, all the online is challenge for me because I don't speak a good English and I got a lot of emails like for all 3 kids. And something else, yeah, like a place. We are 4 students. I have 3 places for like Zoom meeting. Me and my little one, we take Zoom classes in the same place, and it's so hard. Yeah, sometimes he need help. Sometimes I'm passing my Zoom meeting. I don't join it because of him to help them. Yeah, it's hard. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Mhm.
Irvina, anything you want to add about challenges as a family member?
Like I mentioned before, the biggest challenge as a family member is just the internet connections. When it's got glitch, especially for my high school one, she's just gonna be got stressed out, anxiety, frustrated, and say, "Mom, I need your hotspot." That I'm still home. But if not, then I'll try to. I talked to my husband when he comes home from work. He said, "Well, what is the problem? I don't know how to fix it because when the Zoom meeting going, I mean, I have other devices that using the data too, and it's fine. So only the Zoom meeting with the teacher that got interrupted, and we really don't know how to fix that. Fix that issue. Other than that, I think I already mentioned it earlier too, is yeah, maybe the block schedule is better. I'm not sure, so it can have a longer time because she has six classes plus 2 advisory and the jazz ensemble in the morning. So she has 8 classes every day. I mean, she enjoy going to school, she enjoy classes, and she never, I mean, I'm very fortunate she's on top of everything. I don't have to worry about it. But when she has a question or she has a problem, like with geometry that she don't understand, she got frustrated because she can't just answer, she can't just ask the questions and get the answer right away. So yeah, that's for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Irina, for sharing. At this point, I would like to open up for President Kilgore, board members. Do you have any questions for the panel? Okay, see a few hands. Director Cadence.
I just want to thank the parents, and I want to say my heart goes out to you, and you're working so hard to take care of your kids and do your work. Bless you for trying hard for everything and for coming and talking to us.
Thank you, Director Cadence. Director Chase?
Thank you. I want to echo what Director Cadens was saying. So thank you. It is very good to hear from parents in some of the struggles that are happening, because we know my son graduated. And so I appreciate hearing from your experiences on the ground. I did have a question. One of our students had mentioned that they're able to access on some resources on how to handle stress at home. And from the discussions we're hearing, we are hearing about a lot of the issues causing stress. For parents, are you finding that your students are able to access information, or it's talked about on how to handle the stress that is just exists by the way that we have to access education right now? Or are you able to access any resources for stress management? Just curious here.
I know for my son at Alderwood Middle, the counselors are trying really hard to give the children the resources, but seeking it and actually doing it is a different story, especially with my son's personality type. So it's available, but I don't know. I think I liked what one of the students said about how in her advisory class, they actually actively practice it. So you're not waiting for them to come to you. You're just like, hey, let's do some breathing exercises or whatever it is that they're doing. I think I mean, that sounded amazing. And also the others, I was really impressed with those kids, by the way. Also the other student that was talking about recording the Zoom meetings, because you can do that and that is an option. And I'm not sure why we're not doing that, so that the parents that work, if we need to help them with something later, we can go back and watch the Zoom, instead of a YouTube of a teacher that might be teaching in a different way or something like that. And so there are resources, but he is not actively pursuing. I mean, you're talking about a teenage boy that really just wants to sleep and doesn't like school in person, much less online, which is what I'm dealing with. And I also I have a message from another parent that has a severely autistic child. And I mentioned to him that I was going to be doing this tonight. And he said, can you please ask them, what are they doing for the special needs kids? Because I'm at home, well, his wife, soon to be ex-wife, and he honestly feels that with their 4 kids at home and the autistic one being, full time, that it caused tension. It's their personal stuff, but either way, he thinks that all of this with their kids and everything has caused such a stress that they're now divorcing. And he wanted me to ask, why isn't there more resources and plans for the special needs kids? Because he hasn't had one thing to do since February, and his social aspect of school was the one thing that made him happy. And now he's just sitting at home watching his mom running crazy, apparently, with the other 3 kids while dad's at work every day. And so he wanted me to mention that also for those with special needs kids at home. And then I'm also really concerned about the kids that are at home that might have like domestic violence or abuse or alcoholic parents. I know someone firsthand, my son's little sister in the Mukilteo School District just tried to commit suicide at 15 years old. You know, she cannot handle this. She's been stuck at home. And what the first time her mom is one of those very obsessive about COVID. So they've kind of been prisoners in their home. She won't even let my 19-year-old stepson have a job or come over or anything. So I can't imagine those type of children that are stuck at home with no outlet. Are we doing any polling of the kids for like a cry for help if they need it, on like that's been my biggest concern, is their mental health along with mine. But mostly them, because they just, as it is, they're of the age of TikTok and Snapchat, where they don't have an attention span, and now they're being forced to sit in front of these computers for longer periods of time than they've ever had to, not knowing what kind of situations they're dealing with at home. Has anyone, like, is there been any discussions of a secret survey to the kids, like, how are you doing at home? Are there any concerns you'd like us to know about? Or I don't know how to go about it in a way where they can say, like, help me, yeah.
Thank you for sharing all that information with us. I'm gonna go, well, President Kilgore, sorry.
I apologize. I just want to say to the parents that and I don't want to. I feel your pain, and my anxiety is raised as I listen to your stories. I also have a kid at home, and Derek, my son and your son are probably in similar places, and so as you're talking, I'm feeling this increased, blood pressure. And I know he's right next door, not doing his homework because I'm here with you. So I don't know. I don't want to talk about my story tonight, other than to tell you that this is widespread, and even the board president is dealing with the kinds of struggles that you're dealing with.
Thank you. Thank you. It definitely helps to know that we're all in this together. Definitely.
Thank you. And Dorica, I'm gonna invite you to please talk to your friend, parent, and then please make sure that they communicate with our the central office, our principal, right, school principal, central office for support. And again, we're here to offer support. We're here working 24/7. We're trying to do our best during this pandemic for all our kids. I'm gonna move us to our next question. What do you think the district could do better to support your students? So any ideas you may have, please feel free to share at this point. Any volunteers? Anna?
Yes, well, I know a lot of parents that, well, in my school at least, a lot of parents that don't speak English, and I think the technology is also something that they're having issue with. So if there was some type of like a class, or like even through Zoom, like something, and I know that it has been offered, but something more I guess specific to like the second grade. I think kindergarten to third grade uses Canvas. I mean, not Canvas, Seesaw, and a lot of parents are not able to access that, or they don't know how to work their way around that. And I would like it if there was, I think it would be helpful if they had a class specifically for people that don't speak the language, and to help them navigate through, whether it's Seesaw or Canvas. I think that would be a good, and then in the language that they're that they're able to understand, because I know there's classes, but they're always in English, and a lot of parents are already confused, not knowing that technology, and let alone not speaking the language. It's hard. So I think that would be something that I would like to see, for more help navigating both of those programs, the Seesaw and Canvas, for parents that don't speak the language.
Thank you. Any other panelists? Parents, any other ideas? What do you think the district could do better to support your student?
Is there any way we can have some kind of like drop-off tutoring center that, you know, it's socially distanced, but, you know, and there's a maximum, and, you know, if we have to wait in line, or I don't know, I'm just wondering if there's any other resources to help the students when they're like not in the class, or the 1 hour office hour that the teacher has. I don't know.
Okay. Any other ideas from panelists? Okay, board members, President Kilgore, any other questions for our panelists?
I can comment quickly on that recommendation by the parent regarding a drop-off center. I know some districts across the nation have drop-off sites where there's a certain number of hours that are available for students to come in for support, where there's Wi-Fi at a school setting in a controlled area supported by some staff. So I know I've seen that model in other areas across the country. So thank you for the idea and for bringing that up.
Thank you, Dr. Valderas.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank all the parents for their comments. It's got to be really, really difficult. I do not have children in school right now, so I can only feel your pain by hearing all the problems and how difficult it is. I really appreciate that. I know there's problems with technology all around. We had problems with technology in this meeting early on. So if we can't do it in a Zoom meeting for the whole district, then you know there's going to be technology problems on most things that go on. But we've all learned how to deal with them also. So I appreciate everybody's patience in making this work, because your parents, you're working so hard trying to make it work, and hopefully it is working in some manner or form for everybody. So thank you so much for your comments.
Thank you, Director Noble. Any other final comments from board members? President Kilgore?
Maybe we do give fifth graders homework again, because I will tell you that I thought it was a nice luxury when my kid was in elementary school to not have homework, but then he got to middle school and it was like a shock to his system. And you know, they give him a planner, but it doesn't really help much. And so I'm wondering if maybe we can integrate homework maybe second half of fifth grade, so they can start kind of getting used to it. And that was like in the in-person setting, and now remote, it's obviously a little bit harder to keep up with if you get behind. But that's another idea that I just came up with to kind of help with the transition, in person or not in person.
Thank you. Any other final comments? Okay, well, thank you to our panelists. Thank you so much for spending time with us tonight. We know that this is extremely difficult, and on top of that, you're giving us time tonight, right, to be with us and to give us really valuable information for all of us. So thank you again. Dr. Valderas, President Kilgore, any final comments?
I'll be brief. You know, it just takes just again, want to really thank the kids and the parents for really expressing just their thoughts, and really just, again, having the courage to really just state what is actually happening. And for the board of directors, we, you know, I had Greg Schwab and Victor bring in parents from a variety of schools, and just really just to be able to express what is happening. This is real life every day for our kiddos. And again, we need to get better. I think we're better than the spring. We continue to work to get better, and I appreciate the families that were here tonight to express their concerns. And we are going to follow up with a few people, but also we're going to follow up with the schools as well, and really relay what's happening. And we'd like to have more of these for the board throughout the year, just to see how things are going throughout the year, because I think it's just something for us to consider. And I'd like to have more smaller forums as well. I know we're going to have kid forums down the road, but I think this is something that we want to continue with the board of directors and the broader community.
Thank you, Dr. Valderas. President Kilgore.
Yeah, again, thank you so much for your generosity and sharing your experiences, good and bad, challenging, and and all the information is so important so that we can hopefully improve the experience for all your kids and for you. I think our parents, again, it's just a challenge like nothing I've ever experienced before. And so I personally feel it, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you. And that concludes our meeting for tonight. So President Kilgore, I'll just turn it back to you if you'd like to close up.
All right. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.